And we are back with a BBN episode number 2. Who do we got today? Oh, it's obvious. We have NightHawk again. We are live, NightHawk. What are we thinking right now?
First off, Mr. White, I just want to thank you. It's an honor to be here, and it's always a pleasure to be speaking with you, my good friend.
Absolutely, NightHawk. Don't mind anyone behind me. That is my girlfriend. She is dealing with all of this, everything I'm about to say. We got a couple of things on the agenda for today. We got a couple of topics. The first one I'm thinking we get started with is Andrew Tate. We've seen Andrew Tate in the last week or two really coming out, trying to tell white people how to live their lives. It's honestly just weird what I'm seeing. He's telling white people that, they are betas, that, they're letting their women get out of control, that, they have tiny penises. I mean, it's just a very clear and obvious irrational response to whatever problem he has with them. And I'll say up front, I do get what he's saying. There is a lack of masculinity in culture nowadays. But this visceral and very intense attack on the whites just is very confusing. NightHawk, what are you thinking about that?
Well, you see, what it comes down to, right, is Andrew Tate did convert to Islam, right? He is a Muslim. He does come from a biracial background.
Yeah, he's been attacking Christians as well. That's one of the big things he's been saying too. Is it's been very much attacking Christian and the Christian faith.
He's attacking Christians. He's attacking the white race, right? And he is neither of these things.
Yeah.
So of course he's going to attack it, right?
Yeah.
We are his enemy.
Right.
How he made his money, right? Goes to Romania. Sets up these big hotels full of cam girls, right? These very young girls. And he takes their passports. They do their thing, and he's typing away, right? He's typing away. He's talking to all the guys. He's getting the money, right? And he is just scamming the people that he says he's trying to help. It's the same thing with Hustlers University. He's scamming the people he says he's trying to help.
Right. And the thing that's so confusing to me is the dude has no money, right? He talks about how he has no money, which apparently, when you said his father was actually rich, he comes from...
his father was...
He was the world...
CIA. His father was CIA. He was a chess international
I did not know
master.
That. Really? He was CIA?
Yes.
Holy shit.
Emory Tate. You could look up his father. He was a black international chess master, CIA agent.
Yeah. Which is amazing. That's a really cool thing to have your father be. But
absolutely.
But it just
this is where it stems. His father left his mother, right? Father left his mother.
Yeah.
And he was raised Christian, and I think having that really caused a huge problem in his life. Coming from a broken home, right? I think it really just stems from some daddy issues that he has, right?
Yeah.
Never being able to fully be the man his dad was. So
yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
He did have a successful career in MMA, right?
Kickboxing, yeah.
In kickboxing, he was good. He was doing a lot of stuff. He made a lot of money. But at what cost? Right? He's talking about how white people, especially, right, are basically getting cucked and not having kids, and the birth rate's falling, which just isn't true really at all.
It's actually not true. And I mean, when he says that, he's targeting Americans, right? American whites.
Absolutely.
But he doesn't understand that almost all races across the board are lacking in birth rates in America. It's not just the white people. He's clearly trying to once again cause an uproar, cause a mass frustration.
Well, how does he make his money
in people
now?
Well, exactly,
right?
And that's exactly what it is.
Through outrage, right? He
right.
is clickbait outrage, right? People I mean, he's the leader of the far right. He's the leader of the like, come on. He's really nothing,
Well,
you
I
know?
don't even necessarily think he's the leader of the far right. He's kind of carved his own path. You do have to give him credit for carving his own path. But the thing is this man is trying to preach moral virtue to white men or to all men. And the
He's an
dude made all of
extremely
his the
immoral
dude
person.
made
He's
all of his
extremely-
money from cam girls in Romania. And then he converts to Islam and acts like he's on this moral high ground. Dude, shut the fuck up. You didn't do anything that is morally good to make money whatsoever, yet you're acting like you're this grandiose god who everyone needs to
very
listen
sanctimonious. He's acting very sanctimonious.
It makes no
He's morally
sense.
superior, right?
Exactly.
And
yeah.
he's just he's trying to cause outrage. And how he makes his money is the outrage. It's the clicks,
Right.
and it's getting these young, vulnerable white men, right? And I mean, a lot of here's the thing: have you seen a lot of the Andrew Tate copies? Right, a lot of them aren't really white, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know, man. It's the whole thing
My
with Andrew
thoughts on
Tate right
him-
now is, look, I understood, the message of promoting masculinity. I get that. There's definitely an attack on masculinity and culture. I'm not denying that. But then he's attacking white people for not having children, saying, dude, one of his tweets were like, if you use your whole penis and you're white when you have sex, that's hilarious. It's like, okay, man, you're acting like you're on a moral high ground and you're going to make fun of someone's penis size? As if white people, I mean, to make even the claim that all white people have a small penis. But it's also, and if he ever even watched this, he would use that sentence against me and say, oh, well, you're talking about that because it's true. White people have small penises. But it's not even that. It's you cannot preach morality as if you are this higher form of being to others when you make all of your money from girls, cam girls, that you are physically yourself typing to the men who are watching it. And then after you make your money, you then preach to these soy boys or these cucks or any of these, what would you call them? The fucking, I can't think of the word right now. Incels, exactly. You preach to these incels and that's your new audience again? And you're trying to lift them up by taking their money? Once again, you're doing something immoral. I mean, it's absolutely insane when you think about it. And the fact that this man has so much respect by so many men at this point, I mean, after this thing, it just makes no sense to me.
I mean, he's always been like this.
But why
right?
why do you think it is so many people look up to him?
Because no one has a father figure, right?
Yeah.
And also, I think a huge part of it is, right, we're just talking about America. A lot of his followers are from Armenia, right, Middle Eastern, North African. Mm-hmm. They're in India, right? They're in these third world countries, and Andrew Tate is extremely cool to them.
Yeah.
He is the man. He's having sex. He's making money. He's driving the Lamborghini.
Right.
He's on the front page.
That's the thing I don't get about his whole message. It's like, hey, have this higher moral virtue of, respecting yourself and respecting the people around you. But at the same time, if you're not driving a Lamborghini like me, then you have not made it yet. And it's like, hey, man, hey, dumb fuck. None of it comes down to this materialism. It comes down to literally the only thing that matters is personal relationships with other people. That is literally the only thing that really matters. If he was preaching that, I wouldn't have a problem with him. But for him to attack white people and say,
I want you to go on YouTube or TikTok or wherever you go, right? I want you to look up some top G copycats. I want you to look at who they are. I want you to look at what they say, and this will answer all your questions. It really will. I promise you. You just gotta go look it up, and you'll see. Who is copying him? Who wants to be him? Who's trying to be him?
Well, I know people in my life, and look, I mean, once again, the last thing I'm trying to say is there's nothing that he's saying that is valuable. There's definitely a lack of masculinity in modern American culture, not denying that. So I think he's correct on that. And I do think pushing towards religion is good as you get older because you understand deeper parts of reality. But to push this materialism, to act like, once again, you are this moral high ground, it just makes no sense. And yeah, there's so many copycats. I've met so many young men who are decently successful who are just, trying to fuck loads of women. They act like they're just above other men and that they're cooler than these people and their egos are just through the roof. And dude, it's just narcissism on a different level whenever I see people like this. But right, it's all fake. And these people are typically, generally speaking, the most unhappy of all. Which is the craziest part about it. They're so insecure and they're so unhappy.
Daddy issues. This is how daddy issues manifest in men, right? It manifests different in women. This is how it manifests in men. We see Andrew Tate.
Yeah.
Right.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I have a lot more to say about it. I mean, I just can't believe the visceral, the intense attack on white people. It's honestly shocking, especially because I would argue for at least 2 to 3 months, he was supposed to be sticking up for white people. Now he's saying they're basically letting society crumble. Hey, buddy, you live in Romania. You live in Romania, okay? I'm not saying Romania is not a good place. But what I am saying is you can't look at America and tell us we're crumbling. Just because you're rich and you move to a third world country doesn't mean you made it and everyone there is happy. There's so many people struggling there. Spend your money to help people if you actually care about people and are this higher moral.
There's a certain Romanian on Twitter. A lot of people will know him. Dave, I'm not sure you know him. But there's a certain Romanian on Twitter. Very popular. Also touted as the leader of the alt-right, right? Who made a couple phone calls, or at least he said he was going to make a couple phone calls. Get Andrew Tate back in the Romanian prison and eaten by a bunch of cannibal gypsies.
Okay.
Did you hear about that?
No, I did not hear about that. No, what is
that?
Yeah,
and you know what? You know what happened? A couple days later, they're going back at him. And they're trying him for his crimes.
Jesus Christ.
So I hope he has a long, good life in prison.
Who? You talking about Andrew Tate?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I do think they attack him. I think there's definitely the establishment does not like him. So I don't know if I necessarily agree with you. I don't think he should necessarily go back to prison. I don't know if he fully did those crimes. I definitely think when you get into cam girls, you're really asking for it. So,
I don't know.
So, that is a thing. Now, I'm going to show one Andrew Tate tweet real quick.
I think Tate might glow.
That's what he said. Sex is for making children. Any man who has sex with a woman because it feels good is gay. Oh, my pee-pee feels good. This is great. In fact, if you are 40 with less than 5 children, you're probably gay. All that feel-good pee-pee sex and hardly any genetic legacy. I mean, I'd like to believe that this is just a joke and that he's fucking around, but I also think he might actually think that. I mean, I really don't know.
I think he has like 10 kids and he doesn't talk to any of them.
Right, that's the thing. He has like 10 kids with multiple wives, and he says if you're not doing the same thing, that you're a beta male. And it's
a real Tyreek Hill type situation.
Yeah, it's honestly a great representation of he doesn't have it's not a class. We've talked about this, like a high class society. It's extremely low class, if you ask me.
Yeah, absolutely. Low class, bad culture.
Yeah, bad culture. Bad culture. Just a bad thing he's promoting. It just doesn't make sense for the average person. But in his mind, he's just such a narcissist that it's like he can't see past that. Anyway, let's move on.
Speaking more on bad culture, how about these protests going on? We got snipers on the roofs.
I saw
at
that.
The colleges.
At Ohio
State.
At the
Union. We got snipers at the Union.
Yeah. At Ohio State University, there was literal snipers on the roof. I mean, what's
At
going
the
on with that?
Union.
Do you know have any idea what's going on with that?
Yeah, you know what? I want to read you a quote. I want to read you a quote. This is from our good friend Johann Wolfgang von Goethe, great German author. I want to read you a little quote from his Maxims and Reflections. It is much easier to recognize error than to find the truth. The former lies on the surface. This is quite manageable. The latter resides in the depth. And this quest is not everyone's business.
Now, what is this in reference to? Like, what are you referring to? To the war, right? The Israel and Palestine war?
Sure, it belongs in that, but also belongs in our culture as well, as a whole, right? I mean, if you really think about it, it's easier to recognize errors than to find the truth, right?
Sure.
Easier to point out the errors than to actually get into details, find the truth,
Yeah.
because the truth is buried so deep on the surface of lies
Yeah.
and errors.
And you're saying
And
so
not
you're saying in the reference to these Palestinian protesters, you're saying they are just
Well, there's no
you're just
absolutely there's no truth to it. There's no
to
truth
what they're
to it.
doing, right? There's no genuine
Absolutely.
care.
I mean, I don't want to be quote heavy, but even back 1969, right? Richard Nixon in his memoirs on the anti-war protests at college campuses for Vietnam, right? These were huge protests. You had the Kent State protests, right? A lot of different protests all over the entire United States over the Vietnam War, right? Nixon found out and knew very fast it was not about the Vietnam War at all. It was a completely different issue, right? It had absolutely nothing to do with the war. And it doesn't have anything to do with the war today. It has nothing to do with this Israel and Palestinian war. Now, I think there's some truth to some actual Jews and Palestinians that are in America. I think the truth for them is there. They do care about the war, but they're not the ones who are protesting, right?
Yeah.
They're not the college kids on the campuses.
You're saying the actual Palestinians themselves.
Absolutely.
Well, that's because they are, I mean, just from what I've seen, I mean, they are getting absolutely decimated with many bombs, or at least were until.
No. I'm not talking about the Palestinians in Palestine. I'm talking about the Palestinian Americans.
Oh, I actually know a couple, and they are very upset. I'm just going to throw
Me
that
too.
out there. I know a couple.
And-
They
and-
are
and
very,
they're-
very
and
upset.
they are truly, that's the truth to them. They really do care. That the reason they would protest is the truth, right?
So you're saying the
Because
reason
they are-
that these kind of, because I would argue that a lot of kids who are going to Columbia or Harvard or these
they're not
larger
they're
schools,
not
they're
don't
they're
care.
typically pretty well off from the get go. Not all of them. Not saying all of them. A lot of them come from pretty privileged backgrounds. And one thing that I've heard you explain, NightHawk, is how these people are just trying to have fun, And I thought about it last night because we had talked about it a little bit, and it makes sense. I mean, they are getting to camp out in the grass. They get to break the rules, but what are they really doing? They're if you have 200 people and everyone's camping out on the campus lawn and everyone's sharing food and you're having a good time until the police show up and then everyone bands together and you get to live in chaos for a little bit. That sounds like a lot of fun for a fucking 20-year-old kid.
Absolutely.
Do they actually give a fuck? I don't
no, they don't give a
think
fuck
that.
at all.
I
You
really
could-
don't know. I mean, I want to believe
No.
they do because I mean, let's just show this. We're gonna show some images of the Gaza Strip here, and maybe you
Well,
can
here, I'll
take a
tell you
look at
this.
this because
They could not even.
I mean, it is
They
it's
can't
horrible.
even point out where Gaza or the West Bank are on maps.
Right.
They can't find Israel. They have no fucking clue. They can't. If you can't even find it on a map, How the fuck do you know anything about it?
Yeah, I mean, it's a
They
good
don't know
point.
anything about it. They don't care they don't care about it. A large part is what it stems from. These protests stem from anti-white hatred, right?
Yeah.
It's the Jews are white colonizers of a brown indigenous population to them, right? This is why they are protesting. This is what it stems from. But that's not the larger culture of it, right? I think a lot of it is just young people just want to have some fun,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You have women who don't really understand anything that's going on and they want to feel a part of something, so they're just following the lead. And I think you have a lot of guys that
That's a lot of what college is too.
you could have some guys, right? And they want to take advantage of it. They want to get some pussy, right?
Yeah.
They'll fucking say whatever. They'll be gay for the pussy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Be a little
What
gay. You know what?
what I was
It's
going
a
to say
very
is
effective measure.
I
A
do agree
very
with you.
effective
I don't think
measure.
these people really care for the most part. I think they are
They don't care
do
at all.
Now, what I will say is when I look at what Palestine looks like, I mean, it is a disaster right now. I mean, it is horrible. They have killed almost 20 times the amount of people who died on the October 7th attacks, and I mean, it is terrible. So I personally, from my perspective, it is definitely a problem. And then you have the U.S. dropping aid over the Gaza Strip, and it's literally killing Palestinians, and no one even knows about it. I mean, I feel bad for these people. They are in a lot of ways being decimated from the earth. It's very concerning to witness. But besides the point of that, besides all that, it's not even that necessarily to me. What it is to me is the fact that, I mean, they are shutting down the electricity. They have shut off the supplies to the area because Israel controls all those things. That is a problem. I mean, do you agree that that is a problem, NightHawk?
Absolutely, but in war, right? There's no really rules in war. War crimes don't really exist. War never changes. This will happen. This is happening in other places, and no one cares about it. I think as the U.S., right, being a U.S. citizen, this is a cross continents when we have extreme problems at home, like the cultural divide,
Well, of course.
like fentanyl.
Well, I mean, if we're going to go into that conversation, obviously, I don't think we should have our hands in any of these fucking wars. I mean, the Ukraine war, this war, fucking Taiwan. I have, as an American citizen who is, growing up, 25, trying to buy a house, trying to start a family. I mean, we cannot get involved. Our currency has lost 20% of its value in 4 years, and it's seeming like it's going to lose its value even faster than that.
I think a part of growing up and getting older and starting to pay taxes is you have to just forget about it and not care because it will drain you of so much.
I disagree. I think that is, I disagree with you 100%. I don't think that's the American way at all. I think the American way is putting the pressure on the state always like, hey, we're fucking pissed. We're fucking pissed because we're one of the only countries in the entire world where we can even do that without being fucking killed. You can't do that in Russia. You can't do that in China. You can't do that in Israel. You cannot do that in Israel. You can't do that in almost any Muslim country. In America, it's one of the only places where, that's what you just said, in my opinion, is basically what the boomers thought. And I have lots of problems with the way they thought. I think they're the backbone of our civilization in a lot of ways. But dude, no, it is our job to care. That is what we have to do. The moment you stop caring is when the Roman Empire fails. In my opinion. The moment you say, you know what, fuck it, who cares? We're going to pay taxes and the government's going to print all this money and, who really cares, man? This is just how the system works. Well, the moment you've done that, not only have you lost, but you have lost and let everyone around you lose too. And you've let all of them get desecrated and decimated by the state. And I fucking hate the state. So, and that's the American way. In America, it's all about hating the state. That's a true American. Because there's really no way for them to get to a point where I don't hate them. Because that's our job. That's why we left the fucking British in the first place. Because we hate the state.
I agree with you, man. I agree with you. I'm
not going to sit down and just let them do whatever the fuck they want and not say anything about it.
I agree with the heroism.
It's not even heroism. That's not heroism. No, that's individual. That's individualism. That's Christianity talking. That's what that is. The foundation of America.
My issue is
the idea that one person could change it, or the one person can influence people around them. That's a unique thought in America. Well, it's not a unique thought in America, but that's what helped make America, because it's a unique creation that didn't exist in most of the world beforehand.
The ship is sinking. It's bigger than any of us. Stack up as much as you can. Keep your head down. Go through the bad times. We'll have a better life in the future.
Well, we've been through bad times, man, and it seems like our generation is only going to go through more and more bad times. That's what it really feels like. We went through COVID. In a way, we went through 2008. We were young. I was 13, 14. Didn't really know what was going on, but that fucked up our entire financial system right then. That's when the money printer went bring and just never stopped. And now you're seeing projections of 40 trillion by 2025. Okay, so that means another 20 to 40% loss in our currency value in the span of 3 to 4 years. Actually, 2 years? How's anyone supposed to buy anything? And then you have Biden come forward. Here's a 44% fucking, capital gains tax. Oh, well, here's another 25% on unrealized gains if you're in a certain bracket, in a certain financial bracket. What the fuck is going on? I get what you're saying. The system's failing. Get what you can. I agree. But at the same time, I'm not going to sit here and not fucking talk about it. I'm not going to sit here and ignore it and play video games all day, because that's not who I am. And I can't do that. And I don't think you could do that either.
I'm not saying ignore it. I'm saying, in reality, there's really nothing you could personally do except control your own destiny, right?
Sure.
The ship is sinking. It's bigger than any of us.
How long, NightHawk, how long do you give the U.S. until it's fucking over?
Till it's completely over? I don't want to make predictions.
Well, I'm asking.
I'll just say the 2020s and most likely the 2030s will not be fun decades. And I think this is what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about you sit down in your ass and you play fucking video games and you become a loser and you just nonchalant, nothing matters. You waste your 20s, you waste your 30s. Now you're in your 40s after this, right? Mm-hmm. I'm not saying that. I'm saying work as hard as you can during these bad times. Get money, learn, work out, and then pick up the pieces once it's over. Once everything is over, who's going to be left?
I personally want to believe that there's a way to solve
who's going to be left?
I'm not full in on the, it's all going to crumble. I think there's a way to solve this. I think we could do it. I think it's going to suck. I think it's going to come with a lot of sacrifice. It's going to fuck our generation hard, right in our fucking asses, really hard.
I think we could save it. I
think Gen Z is burdened with saving America. That's really what it feels like. Gen Z is burdened with saving America.
It could be fixed so easily right now. Right now, it could be fixed. The thing is, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not going to be fixed.
Well, it's definitely not going to be fixed under Biden. We know that. The dude loves war, and he loves printing money. But anyway, let's move on to the next topic here.
Well, I have a question. Well, no, wait 1 sec. Do you think Trump would fix it?
I don't think one person can fix it in 4 years. But I think Trump could do a significantly better job, as in not printing unlimited amounts of money, not getting us into global wars, not wrecking the economy, not proposing a 44% fucking tax rate on capital gains and a 25% on unrealized gains. After that, I think he would probably do what he did, which was sign the Favored Nations Act, which makes us pay the same amount as all the other countries around the world for pharmaceutical drugs.
I'm saying in 2028.
Yeah, I'm telling you things that he could do to help solve this problem. What are the biggest problems in America? It's not even taxes. We pay less than almost every single European country. It's not the taxes. It's where our money is going. We are printing billions upon billions of dollars, and we're giving them to all these foreign governments that have none of our interests in mind, that don't give a single fuck about an American. They don't care about us. They care about themselves. And guess what? We have too many homeless on the street, too many people not able to take care of themselves right now. No one in our generation, I shouldn't say no one, majority of our generation has basically already ruled out that we're just not going to buy a home. We can't do it. Owning property, not important. Owning a car, not important. Why is it getting like this? Why are we not supposed to own things anymore? It doesn't make any sense. Unless they're trying to destroy us. And that's what it feels like. With Trump, I feel like as many flaws as he has, which is many, the dude's definitely a narcissist, but he is the president. He is the president. He is making decisions. Joe Biden is not making decisions. Hillary Clinton would have not made decisions. Bo Bamba would not have made decisions and did not make decisions besides killing and dropping the most drone strikes in American history. Clinton loved war. Bush's, we know, loved war. All of these presidents, post-JFK, besides maybe Richard Nixon, which they then got him out of there too after Watergate, none of these people were making decisions. It was a shadow government, and this is not a secret. This is open knowledge at this point. It was a shadow government making decisions for the American people. And it's still happening to this day, and it has to stop. Because if it does not stop, this country will do exactly as you say. It will fucking collapse. And it already is. So yes, I think Trump can make positive change. And I believe that as long as we have fair elections, that we can solve the problem over time. But we're not going to solve it in 4 years. And we're not going to solve it in 10 years. It takes a long time. And it's on Gen Z's shoulders, in my opinion, to reset the framework for the entire country and to be the rebirth of America. Because
absolutely,
we have that choice. We have that choice. And it comes down to the individual to make that decision.
I'm with you on that. I just think our journeys are a little bit different. I think our end goal is the same. But like I said, the journey's just a little bit different. I don't see this fixing itself really at all. I think something drastic has to happen. And I just don't foresee it. I think it's a waiting game. And I think the best we could do is, like I said, have our own free will, have our own autonomy.
Yeah.
And pick up the pieces once it's over and give our kids the best life they possibly can have.
Right. And that's the thing. And this is what goes back to the Andrew Tate thing. It's like, hey, man, you're attacking all these people. Maybe the reason that a lot of white people and a lot of people in this country aren't having children is because we're not ready to do that yet. Because, hey, man, there's wars in Ukraine. There's wars in fucking Israel. We don't know what the fuck's going to happen. And I want my kid to grow up in a safe place. Doesn't mean I'm not going to have a child. Just means I need to get my shit figured out first. You know, not all of us are willing to stoop down to such a low level and make money off of, no offense, not the most intelligent women that you can just use and abuse however you want. Sorry, I actually have morals. I don't do that. And I won't do that because I care about people. So Yeah. So this leads back into that too, where it's like, yeah, we have things to figure out before we can really set the framework for our future families. And if you can't understand that, then you probably live in a mansion somewhere and you have $20 million in your bank account and you don't actually connect with any average individual whatsoever. So why the fuck should anyone listen to what you think? You know?
They shouldn't.
Exactly. They should.
They shouldn't.
And
And he'll die alone. And he'll die sad. And he'll be spending the eternity in hell.
yeah. But yeah, anyway, let's move on to our next topic. I'm liking this a lot. Big thing for Biden.
How about
right
that
now.
ban?
This menthol ban is I can't believe the Wall Street Journal pulled this out. Let me show this real quick. I think they actually changed the headline.
Oh, I got it. Could I say it? I want to say it.
Yeah, send it to me. Or you want to say it?
Breaking news.
Yeah.
Breaking news from the WSJ. The Biden administration is dropping a plan to ban menthol cigarettes. It weighed the health benefits of the ban against the angering black voters.
Yeah. I have it up right now on the screen. Biden administration shows plan to ban menthol. Yeah. I mean, what is this
title?
Yeah, I mean, it's the most racist title I've seen from a mainstream media outlet in a long time. Right? Doesn't it seem pretty fucked up? I mean, I'm not saying it's necessarily false. Obviously, a lot of blacks love menthol cigarettes.
They love their Newports, man. They love their Newports.
I mean, I'm not a fan of menthols myself, but you know, I guess
I've only seen one white guy who smoked menthol.
They definitely love the Newports, that's for sure.
They love their Newports.
And the menthols are the worst for you. But this once again goes to show how low these people are, these politicians, specifically Joe Biden and his corrupt institution and his White House.
I mean, the sad thing is they're not even trying to hide any of this, right?
Right.
They're not trying to hide any of it. They know women will vote for them. They know minorities will vote for them. So they're importing hordes of third worlders into the U.S., right? That can vote. They could vote.
Well, they're trying to legalize like almost all of them.
I know, but they already can vote. That's the thing. They can. They can vote and they can buy guns.
Yeah. I mean, that's a whole topic in and of itself. I mean, obviously, it's very obvious that they are trying to steal the election. It's not even close. I mean, by importing 10 million over the span of 4 years, up to 20 million, and trying to legalize all of them, especially when you see Trump with the highest, African American ratings, the highest, Latino vote in Republican history, the highest, obviously, white vote. I mean, they have literally no other option. This is their only option. They have to import. They have to import these illegal immigrants, because if they don't, it's gonna be fucking Reagan. It's gonna be Reagan victory if they don't. You know what I mean?
How many you think are here?
Oh my God! It's the thing is, none of it's checked. So they just let these people through. I mean, you've watched like RFK Jr.'s video on the border, I'm assuming at some point, or something like that, or it's on Channel 5.
Oh, they're giving him high fives. They're taking selfies with them.
Who, RFK?
No, the border patrol.
Oh yeah, these people just walk up. They get a plane ticket. They get taken to whatever city they want in the U.S. They'll fly them wherever they want. So the federal government's paying for all of this. They have sealed the border open because they have to let these people in to win the election.
Yeah.
And I mean, yeah, it's upwards to, they've allowed in almost 10 to 12 million. That's why you see a migrant crisis in New York and in California. I mean, it's insane. And they are just trying to swing this election. And it's clear election fraud. And then you take Trump's trial into account. That's clear election interference. I mean, it is bananas what is going on. It's terrifying. I mean, honestly, at this point, for me, if this election is stolen the way that it seems like they're trying to, then, I mean, it feels like I might have to go and, I feel like I have to leave and go to another country to live, Because
Yeah,
at that
man, I
point,
know.
it's like you're not in a democracy anymore. You're in the same thing as Russia or China. And I'm sorry,
No,
I just have no interest in that. Sorry.
I don't think I don't think democracy could even work right now
No,
in the U.S. It's clearly not working right now.
no, it's clearly not working. Clearly
It's
not
a
working.
it's a failing
But it's once
system.
again with these menthol cigarettes, it's just a reach for voters. I mean, it's also it's the most racist, and it's also just the most ridiculous and just no care for the people. And I'm not even saying that these should be banned. I don't think the government should allow you to control what you can and can't put in your body, personally. But I mean, it's just, I mean,
Maybe fentanyl.
what are you doing?
Maybe we should try to ban that.
Oh, I mean, no, it
Maybe we
is
should try to
banned.
ban
It
that.
is banned. That is banned. But they don't want it to be banned because the cartel controls our border security. They are in control of our border security, the cartel, and they rape lots of kids and lots of women whenever they come across the border. That's what they do. It's disgusting. And these people get to dictate the drugs that are coming in, the people that are coming in. They steal all the money from the migrants who have taken their entire life
China's
savings.
manufacturing it.
It's
Mexico is running it into our border.
it's horrible. I mean, and this is once again, this goes back into, the Palestine protests. It's like, okay, under Trump, you had the border crisis or the migrant crisis where you had AOC and you had Kamala Harris and all these, moral authorities on the left going to the border and crying, and they cared so much, and it riled all these people up. Trump's doing this. Trump's doing this. What they think.
All
This is
for
how
show.
this is how easily people
All
are
for show.
programmed. And then as soon as Joe Biden gets in office, you times the problem by 20. Well, not a problem anymore. Who gives a fuck? No one told me to care, so I'm not going to. Okay, you're a sheep. You're an ant. You don't think for yourself. Have some critical thinking skills. Think about what's happening in the world. Think about the actual immoral aspect that you claimed that you cared about in the first place, but you only cared because you were told to care. So, sorry, I really went on a tangent on this one, man. I'm sorry.
No, it's all right, man. It's the famous Mr. White rant. It's the famous Mr. White rant, and you know what? That's what we like. That's what I like to hear, and I think everyone else would absolutely love to hear it.
NightHawk.
They can't wait to hear it. They're fucking on their knees begging, please, begging, please,
NightHawk.
give it to me.
How do we find hope in today's world? We're talking about all these problems.
Exactly.
What do we do
You know
to find hope?
We're finding the errors. We're finding the errors. We're calling out the errors, I should say. We're calling out the errors, but we're finding the truth.
Yeah.
We're finding the truth,
But,
and that is our business.
And sometimes we're
our
wrong.
business is in the truth.
Exactly.
And I think the truth gives hope, right?
Mm.
Beauty gives hope. God gives hope.
Yeah.
A lot of things can give you hope.
Yeah.
Taking moments out of your day, enjoying the little things.
Yeah.
Taking a step back, meditating on life, thinking about what you could do better.
Yeah.
Also enjoying life,
Yeah.
right?
And realizing that all these problems.
No one wants a stuck-up cocksucker. You got to enjoy your life.
It's true. It's true. And also, you got to realize that, all these problems we're talking about, yeah, they're problems. Yes, they're things to care about. But at the end of the day, you take your phone away, you take your computer away. All you're left with is the people around you that you surround yourself with, that you should love and care about. And, your drive to work.
And that kind of goes back to my point.
It's peaceful. It's peaceful that way.
You care about it. It's not ignorance, it's indifference. And it's you put your head down and you work not only on yourself, but on your surroundings.
Yeah. Yeah.
Put your head down. Pick up the pieces.
Well,
once this is over, it will be better. There's hope at the end of the tunnel, right? Can't have the good without the bad. And you got to roll with life. You got to roll with what life gives you.
I think that's a perfect way to end it, NightHawk. I've loved this one. Let's go ahead and wrap this up. This is
Dwight, this
BBN.
has been perfect. Thank you so much for having me on. I'm really excited to see who episode 3's guest is.
I'm really interested to see who the episode 3 guest is
I
too.
can't
I have
wait.
a
I can't
surprise
wait
for everyone.
for the reveal.
Yeah, I have a big surprise for episode 3. So if you're watching
You
this,
guys are gonna love it. You guys are gonna
episode
love
3
guest 3.
is big because we have
Guest
a
3
big,
is fucking huge.
big
Huge guest 3.
guest coming.
Very important person, known throughout all the lands.
Yes, a lot of wisdom. You know who I'm talking about, right?
Well, of course I know.
Okay. Yeah. Big guest, but
You
either
told me
way,
before the show. You told me who you're gonna have on
Yeah,
before the show.
it's a big deal.
And
it's a big deal. It's the biggest guest we've ever had. I think it's the biggest guest we ever had. But all right,
you guys will love it. You'll be excited.
let's wrap this up. NightHawk, this has been awesome, and BBN, everyone. If you watch this,
BBN.
if you're one of the people who watch this, hope you enjoyed it, and if not, go fuck yourself. So, goodbye, everyone.
We'll see.